And welcome back. I have just visited Eeloo, landed a bunch of probes there, found something weird, and now I'm heading back to Kerbin. This will involve long burn times. I've already planned out the maneuvers. I'll just be talking while we travel there. The most exciting part will probably be when we try to achieve Kerbin orbit and possibly fail horribly. That's it, you've been warned. This will quite possibly be very boring. But if you're still here, if you still want to watch this after being warned, then it's on your own head, and don't blame me. I warned you. I warned you. I told you this could be boring. Go away now if you can't handle it. And we need to wait for our maneuver, in fact. I'm gonna try and do this as precisely as possible, because we will get a Kerbin periapsis if we carry out these maneuvers precisely. If not, we're screwed and we're gonna die horribly in the depths of space. So fun times, everyone. And my resources... if I press escape, they start to work. Excellent. We have a bit more fuel here, but we've used most of it. But then again, our ship is significantly lighter at this point, and we should be good. Also, we can employ atmospheric braking in order to slow ourselves down once we reach Kerbin, which we could not do in getting here for the simple reason that Eeloo doesn't have an atmosphere. Alright, we need 1239 meters per second of delta V. I believe the ship should have enough for that. I hope it does. This has to be precise, like within an hour or two of the node at this altitude, but still pretty damn precise. So we wait for a teeny tiny bit longer. Okay, almost there, almost there. Okay. Okay, let's get a tiny bit closer. The thing is predicting a short burn, so... Okay. So we need to burn mostly retrograde. I'm gonna turn my few RCS ports on to turn this thing around, and as you can see, this is my Goliath Mk interplanetary vessel. It is meant to be a fully reusable interplanetary ship, and hopefully it will be. If I can get it back to Kerbin in one piece, then I can refuel it and use it again, which would be awesome. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, it's kind of meant to act as an orbital base, which allows you to launch a multitude of probes as well as a proper lander onto a planet, recover it, possibly refuel it and land it again. And if I can get it back to Eeloo after bringing like 4 probes, well, 3 probes and 1 satellite really, here, then it will have demonstrated that it can in fact do that. So, okay, node in 30, it's estimating 13-minute burn time. I'm gonna wait until node is at 8 minutes then, and then I'm gonna kick in my engines for Allsworth. I will not be using the main cell engine. I will only be using the shut it a bit, the 4 nuclear engines, because they are vastly more efficient. The main cell engine is to make flights faster and less uninteresting for people on shorter trips where we can afford it, but unfortunately this isn't one of them. I need every bit of efficiency I can get out of this. Every single drop of fuel has to be used efficiently. Next on the plans is, of course, a trip to study Moon and Minmus possibly, but that won't involve this beast of a ship. But the next real interplanetary mission is to Duna, where we will go to study the various artifacts which I know to be on Duna's surface. I have already designed a plane which should be able to fly in its atmosphere, not using jet engines but using nuclear engines in fact. and should be able to land, enter atmosphere, glide, land, take off, get into orbit and redock again, which should allow us to hopefully use it multiple times to examine multiple artifacts. Of course, we will see how that goes. It might not go that well, but I am hopeful, I am cautiously optimistic. Of course, as you can see, this is gonna take a while to do the burn. And, like I said, you are warned. Dress I haven't been to yet. I have visited Jewel and Light in previous versions before docking. I've been to Duna before. Yeah, both of those missions I did with 2 craft flying in parallel, a command pod and a lander, with crew being transferred to the command pod after their lander landed and took off. But yeah, Eve, I don't know about Eve. I'm with the rebalancing of the engines and the fuel, it might be possible to take off from Eve. Might be, maybe, but the amount of fuel to get a craft capable of doing that there would be vaguely insane, and the difficulty in actually landing something like that would again be somewhat interesting, and I need to do a few tiny adjustments there. Stay on this heading, we're gonna try to get it to within 1 meter per second left here on this maneuver. We want to do this as precisely as possible. A few meters off and we don't get to go home, which would be bad for our guys. Okay, time warp off. We need to be precise here. Adjust slightly. Okay, we're almost there. Fuel is looking okay-ish, I believe. I do believe we will have to do an atmospheric braking maneuver at Kerbin. If we can just get this thing into orbit, then I will somehow get a refueling craft to it. When launching the ship, I did a high orbit refueling. I pushed it into a 70 by 70 thousand kilometer orbit and refueled it there one last time, just to have that extra couple of tanks worth of fuel, and I think it's gonna make a difference here. I really think it will. Okay, that maneuver is pretty well done. So let's time warp. Yeah, I did a high orbit refuel, and I actually, dumbass that I can sometimes be, did not add the probes in low orbit, so I had to fly all of those up into a high orbit as well. Oh, and we only need 643.5 meters per second for the next maneuver. Really? That little? Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. We can really work with that. That's really nice. Oh yes. Yes. That should be quite good. Kerbin perhaps is at 60,000. Yeah, that won't do at all. We'll have to do another set of adjustments once we get closer in, but we can't really plan those out with maneuvers. We need to see how we are approaching the planet in order to, you know, do a proper adjustment. I believe we'll dip into the atmosphere at an altitude of about bring our perhaps into about 40 kilometers. Use that to shave off some of our speed and then burn the rest off with pure engine power, and that should be okay. Hopefully. Of course, we still have a ways to go before we actually get there, but I believe we should be fine. Okay, that's the computer core draining power and the nuclear reactor. Oh, and we should have deployed those a long time ago. Come on, there we go. Deploy our communication arrays. And time warp. Node in 1 year and 4 days. So yes, some other games I could do let's plays of, but I think, I'm gonna fast track 2, maybe 3 let's plays at the same time, and I'm gonna sort of do the others when I feel like them, and I'm not gonna start another serious project until I've finished either the Crusader Kings one or the Rome Total War one. And Kerbal Space Program, of course, is an ongoing thing. It's not something you can actually finish. So yes, but of course, if you have any requests, if you've managed to last this long into the video, and if you have any requests for what you want to see, I'm certainly willing to listen. And if I happen to already have the game as well, then I'll seriously consider it. And we still have ways to go. Maybe I should take this craft to explore Moho next. We can't even see it. There it is, right. Yeah, it should be possible to do a pretty decent intercept of it with the new features, you know, the new orbital mapping and maneuver system. Right. In any case, yes, there is our original Goliath. I'm gonna remove that. I could send out a craft to recover it, but really, I honestly don't see any point. Sure, I could do that. How about we don't and say we did, okay? Yeah, let's not. So Duna, then dress probably, and then we'll see about what's going on at Jewel. Light apparently doesn't have any anomalies, but at least one of the moons will have them. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Val has them. Again, from what I've read on the forums. But, well, yeah. I need to actually send probes and ships and whatever there to check it out. And of course I need to make sure that I can actually land on them and take off again. Speaking of which, I also need to design a heavier lander, for that matter. The medium lander design is good enough for a lot of things, I suppose, but it does have its limitations. It does in fact have its limitations. And yeah, I'm thinking that the atmospheric plane lander should be pretty good for Duna. The reason I went with that is because I wanted something that I could control in the atmosphere, because landing on top of an anomaly in atmosphere when your trajectory is gonna constantly shift because of friction, and where you're coming have a high enough gravity and such, it's kind of difficult to land on top of it, you know, within walking distance like. And a plane gives you a bit more control because you can sort of glide it in, and the control surfaces and a tiny amount of engine for that matter allow you to, you know, really control it a lot better. Yeah, the thing is, with nuclear engines in thick atmosphere, they're not very efficient, which is why I couldn't get it into orbit without additional boosters from Kerbin, because the atmosphere is so thick at first that the engine just gobbles up fuel without really accomplishing anything. But on Duna the atmosphere is far thinner, while at the same time the gravity is lower, so it should work out alright. But of course, who knows. We'll see how it actually goes. Actually, there is the possibility, you know, of having, and we're nearly at our node actually, of having several one-man landers with parachutes, and we could try and use those as well, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think there are any anomalies on Gilly, but we can certainly check it out while we're there as well, and I need to kill the time warp partially. We're almost there. Okay, within the hour. Actually, we can wait while we're real close because we have a nice short burn, one of some 6 minutes or so. Let's call it 6.5 or 7 while factoring in our turning. Okay, we are nearly there. And now we need to turn. I believe we need to turn northwards. RCS off. Let's just drift, and then we'll turn our RCS off once we need to kill our spin. Should be good. Should be good. There we go. Oh yeah. Real nice. Excellent. Oh, Betsy. Careful there. Careful there, darling. Careful. Okay. I have no idea why it's pointing like that, but if you say so, game. So, this isn't gonna take too long, just a couple of minutes at 4x time warp, and you'll notice that the ship is pretty stable even at this kind of time warp, because it's really, you know, strapped together pretty well, and we're not applying a lot of thrust either. So, yeah, I'm kind of proud of this design. It's huge, but it's also awesome. And if you don't mind doing, I mean, if you don't suck at doing refueling and docking, then, you know, if rendezvous are something you can enjoy, then it actually works pretty damn well in my opinion. And another 300 meters per second ought to do it. Let's downshift a bit and adjust our heading. We want to stay as exactly on the marker as possible. Yeah, you kind of have to count on always being just a little bit off on whatever marker you aim for, at the very least a little bit off, and you will have to do adjustments, especially if it's a long burn and, you know, things. As you burn off center, the marker will... What was that? Something went poof. I do not like when things go poof. What was... all 4 engines are still firing. These are still strapped down. What broke? Did something break? Is everything still okay? Is everyone alright? No lights on this thing either. Right. I have no idea what that sound was, but that was worrying. That really worried me there for a second. I think it might have been a bug. I hope it was a bug and that nothing important broke at the very least, but ugh, that was scary. Right, we should have a cabin encounter shortly. If things work out. Do we have a cabin encounter? Come on, we need to burn just a little bit more. Okay, all Most okay, we should be good. Oh, thank God we have an encounter. Oh gods, we're going home. Okay, we're going home. So I get close, I'm gonna adjust this, and how are we gonna pass it? I'll need to burn. How will I need to burn? I believe we'll pass it on the inner track, which means we'll have to burn straight out from the sun in order to drop into a low orbit. Doesn't matter if our orbit is eccentric as long as it's stable, as long as we're in no danger of escaping from Kerbin. If I have to, I mean, you know, and we might have to do this atmospheric thing several times in order to get it right. But, well, we'll see. Right, we're gonna do a short burn straight away from the sun. I hope that everything is still functioning. I really do. Oh, and we're turning way too fast. Start slowing down. There we go. Okay. Yeah, as for my next Let's Play, I was sort of thinking about Neverwinter Nights 2. I mean, then I also have Tropico 4, which is an option, and Shogun 2 Total War, which again might be a nice option, but I need to actually learn a bit more about playing that game before I start making any sort of Let's Play about that one. Anyway, we need to get this thing within, say, 100,000. We can adjust it further then, but we need to have a close pass first. Okay, 2 times time warp, 3 times. I'm gonna leave it off the 4 times time warp because that one is a killer. Right, it looks like we're gonna pass below it at this rate, which is okay. Let's shift slightly in that direction. Well, not so slightly. Actually, let's throttle down ever so slightly. I do not want a polar orbit, I want an equatorial one if I can manage it. Still have plenty of fuel, we should be okay. The idea is to dip into the atmosphere, to have... come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Right on the marker. To dip into the atmosphere and then push the other side of our orbit out so that we are... so that our periapsis isn't in the atmosphere. That's pretty much the idea. Okay, are we... God damn it. So far away still. And that's going up now. Alright, let's burn straight away from the sun again for a tiny bit and see where that takes us. And that's way too much turning. Settle down, darling, settle down. We're good, we're good. Okay. Come on. Nice, slow, equatorial skimming of the atmosphere. Okay, that is going in. We can work with that, most definitely. Right. Alright, so... and we are still below it. At least monopropellant is good. Definitely have plenty of that, which is good. It's good. Yeah, this ship is kind of meant to go to a planet and single-handedly learn everything there is to know about that planet. That's the idea. And yeah, do not want equatorial, sorry, polar orbit. If I actually end up on a collision course with the planet, that's good too. I'll just adjust. As long as it's a nice horizontal collision course. Okay, we want to burn slightly upwards again so that we drop into a 90-degree orbit. Ideally. So another adjustment then. No, no, come on, darling, come on, don't be like that. Okay. Yeah, because if we are in a 270 orbit, it just messes everything up for us. So, it should come around the right side of the planet, and overall we should be pretty good. Okay, so here's to hoping. Quick save, and let's get our encounter. Okay. And here we go, and in a tiny bit. Oh, and there's Kerbin. Oh my darling. And our periapsis is in fact pretty damn. Oh, fuck me. Okay, we need to burn. Actually, what we're gonna do is set one of these. I'll set the moon as target. No, it doesn't show us anything. Remove that. Okay, zoom in. Right. Don't want to add a maneuver. Yes, that will do. So, ascending, descending nodes. Don't have them. Not yet. Right, RCS on. No, that was... What the... Why are you non-controllable right now? Right, because I'm in time warp apparently, somehow. Alright, let's turn northwards and do a slight burn. I want to see about fixing that, and then we'll have to bring it in. Which means probably that we'll have to burn straight downwards more than anything, or... Actually no, it could mean that we'll have to burn towards 170. Sorry, not 170, 270. Right. Gonna set up my approach and we'll see. I could probably drop into orbit on fuel alone. What's my speed? My speed is... Yeah, it would take a lot of fuel. Okay, let's go towards, slightly towards 170. Sorry, 270, 270. Let's see how this goes. I want to shave off at least some of this speed in the atmosphere. If I can brake. And there we have that going down. That is good. CS off. Need to turn this towards 90 degrees in order to safely pass through the atmosphere, because we do not want to spin badly out of control. This vessel is pretty big, and even though it's pretty stable and solidly built, I'm kind of afraid about it shaking itself to pieces. But at least our Jeb and Bill, I believe, were stranded on Eeloo when the previous version of this vessel, the original Goliath, which did not have these large nacelles, it had the normal 1-meter tanks as nacelles for the nuclear engines, turned out not to have enough fuel for the return. So they kind of got screwed there. Stabilize there, hold it. Come on, darling, come on. Be good to me, be good to me. Almost. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, doesn't matter. That's good. Okay, another quick save so that we don't have to do this turn again in case things go badly. And that's our altitude going down 5 hours. I just added that so that we could have a marker for whatever 14. Ah, there it is. I believe we need to turn this way in order to do this properly. Yes, like that. So we're coming in pretty damn hot. Nearly 3700 meters. And that's pretty damn hot. Normal re-entry on Kerbin is about 25, and we're not even that close to the plant. We're still pretty damn high. But hopefully this will be, well, re-entry heat hasn't been added to this game yet, so we should be good. Of course, well, yeah, you can see lots of speed there. 46.5 and still going up. Okay. So unless something goes horribly wrong, our Eeloo rescue is gonna be a success. And we're about to dip into the atmosphere. And yeah, the music cut off because we're in the atmosphere. Keep pointing downwards, darling, keep pointing downwards. Yes. Yeah, you can see this going up as we lose speed. Because, I mean, the maneuver didn't have any speed added to this, so it just assumed that our speed would stay the same, right? So, as we lose speed, we can use this to measure how much speed we've burned off, I think. Yeah, just create a maneuver which doesn't have any speed added to it and use that to measure things. And this is not gonna be good enough, I believe. We need to dip lower. Yeah, this is definitely not good enough. Load. Okay. We're gonna turn straight towards the planet in this case. And we'll just... Where's Kerbin? Can we see it, please? Ah, there it is. Okay, we want to go low, but not too low. Come on, turn back. So, I'm thinking, well, actually, like this will be pretty good. So, 35 might be better. We'll see. Ah, yes, there it is. Whoa! And there's the moon. Okay, things are looking good so far, but we haven't gotten to the dangerous part yet. That might be the various forces acting on our ship. push us. Wait a second. What the fuck was that? Why didn't we dip in lower? What just happened there? Okay, so okay, 33.5. Well, if it works, I'm not gonna complain about it. The question is whether we will actually manage to climb out of this, because this might be pretty damn low. But then again, we need to go low in order to burn off our speed, because we have so fucking much of it. Alright, we're real low. Start climbing, please. Start climbing, please. Okay, this is good. This is good. We've burned off a lot of speed already. I believe we will climb into a orbit again. Well, into space again. Indeed we will. And we will actually be in orbit. Okay, so this one actually is going to, according to plan. And yes, it's kind of is cheating F5ing and F9ing, but let's just call those simulations, where the guys use computers to figure out the right altitude for this stuff. And we need to do a short burn to get us into a stable orbit. And then we can consider our Eeloo rescue to be a success. And it is in fact a success, a resounding one at that. Let's turn around and give ourselves a slight nudge. I believe I might do a number of other gravity turns to help drop it into a lower orbit, but I'll do those off screen, so you needn't worry about it. Actually no, I'm just gonna use the engines, probably. So we'll go for about 1,000 meter. Yeah. How about nodes that actually ascending, descending? Oh, 1.7 is not that bad. Turn, damn you, you crazy old walrus. And stop turning now. Stop turning now. Nearly at the apoapsis. Whoa, 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 that's too much turning. Gugh! Son of a gun. Come on. No. There we go. There we go. There we go. Slightly more burn, darling. Resource. Yeah, so we have plenty of fuel. We might have been able to drop into orbit without the aero braking, but that made it certain, and we don't want to risk our guys going spinning off into space after already being lost in the depths of space when they're so close to home. And I'll end the video here. Here ends our mission to Eeloo. Hope you enjoyed this. Whatever comments you leave will be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys later.